how happy is the blameless vessel's lot. The world forgetting by the world forgot. Eternal sunshine of a spotless mind. Each prayer accepted, and each wish resigned.
Is there any risk of brain damage?
Well, technically speaking, the procedure is brain damage, but it's on a par with a night of heavy drinking. Nothing you'll miss.
Oh man, what won't I miss? It's time for a little something that unfortunately I remember. My notes say I'm Professor Robert E.G. Black. I am. And it's time to discuss Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Minute. And yes, I mean the show, not the movie. In this bonus episode, update, part 3. If you don't listen on the Existential Trilogy feed, and you don't listen to the other 2 parts of the trilogy, on Minutia Ex Machina this week, I talked about how these shows are coming to a sort of end. And with Minutia Ex Machina and this one coming to an actual end. There are 3 sets of recorded episodes that will still come out sometime soon, maybe starting next week. I plan on recording a 4th one myself because I had written an episode that I was doing myself. I hadn't recorded it yet, but I will probably go ahead and do that. So, figure on 4-ish weeks of episodes still to come, and then this show will come to an end. Sort of fits the theme. Final thoughts on the movie. I love this movie. I will actually be glad not to be nitpicking this movie, because when I do a Movies by Minute show, I don't really watch that movie anymore. I've watched it enough, talked about it enough, except for Groundhog Day. That's the exception. If you've been listening this week, you would know part of the problem with my sort of creative shutdown and then autistic shutdown in the fall and then COVID is I spend too much time on these. Editing takes me way too long. There are people who release shows and I'm like, how did you not cut that out? How did you not fix those tracks so the one isn't so loud? How did you not adjust this? And unfortunately, that's how I am when I'm editing, is I'm nitpicking everything, and I have to stop doing that. I'm hoping the gap means it's easier to change the way I edit. This is just an incomplete memory, this show. It's a beautiful ending. Hopeful, but with ennui. And I said yesterday I'd be talking about my incomplete shows today. Let's see what they are. The newest ones to that list would be An Existential Trilogy, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Minute, Minutia Ex Machina, The First Syllable, a writing podcast. Cock and Bull Movie Talk did have an ending, but it was not the ending I had hoped for. I had hoped to at least get 100 episodes, and I only did 64. Adventures at Home never went anywhere because we had audio issues on the first few episodes and I didn't know how to re-edit the beginning, and then I didn't know where to start, and I got angry and I deleted all the audio recordings. I wish I had them because my version of Curse of Strahd has been bizarre and strange and weird, and I still want to do a D&D show that people can listen to or watch. So maybe my next one, my next campaign, I mean. Twin Peaks Radio came to an end early. That show would have been fun to keep doing. 1 episode a week, just obsessing. 34 episodes in, I had gotten about 10 minutes into the first episode of the show. So the show could have gone forever. Stand by Minute never released any episodes. I don't even know if I even announced anything officially. I know Movies by Minutes people were involved, because it was going to be sort of a different people host different weeks kind of format. Which, if you came over here, by the way, from hearing my week on Bowfinger Minute, hello. And I'm sorry. What else didn't finish? Greetings from Wonderfalls. We recorded 1 episode, and then the second episode we lost the audio, and that was right as pandemic was starting, and I got frustrated and never went back. And Mandalorian Time Machine, which was supposed to be a show where I could talk about whatever. The problem is, because I could talk about whatever, there was no format and no drive. And that only lasted 14 episodes. And several of them were not very good. They're still out there. And I plan on mentioning one of them actually today, because the ADHD side of my brain, and more specifically the ADHD side of my daughter's brain, means my daughter and I are doing a show together. Which, since I'm mentioning it here, I hope it happens. We have recorded 5 episodes. We'll record another, probably one or two today. That's coming out soon. Currently the title is just 50v20. I'm almost 50, she's 20. And it's basically this sort of generational gap between the way we it's not even that much. We don't disagree that much so far. Looking particularly at, ships, is how you would say it. Particularly representation of LGBTQIA plus in pop culture. We started with an exploration of Reddie. That's Richie and Eddie ship from the It films, where we did 3 episodes, one on the miniseries from 1990, one episode on It Chapter 1, one episode on It Chapter 2. And then last week we recorded talking about Destiel, that is Dean and Castiel from Supernatural. That ended up being 2 episodes long. We didn't have a clear delineation of where it was going to go because we'd watched like 9 episodes of the show to catch up on some things and get some quotes and stuff. And today we're going to be recording about Queliot from The Magicians. Essentially our thing has been Bury or Gaze the show, which might be a catchier title, but it's not very happy. We will have some more positive ones. We just started with obvious for what we wanted to talk about. So, look for that in your podcast feed soon. Follow Lemming Drop Studio on Twitter or join the Lemming Drop Studio tour on Facebook, and you'll know when those things happen. You'll know when the next episodes of these shows come out. In the meantime, I guess I'm erasing you and I'm happy. Nah, I'm frustrated. I'm disappointed. But I'm good. So, this show will have a few more episodes coming out. And then it will go away. I don't have much else to say this week, but there will be a bonus episode of The First Syllable tomorrow, continuing this sort of monologue. Until then, thank you for listening. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Minute is just one part of an existential trilogy of podcasts. Tune in every Tuesday for Minutia Ex Machina, every Wednesday for the Groundhog Day Project Minute by Minute, and every Thursday for more Eternal Sunshine. And you can follow all 3 shows in one feed. Just search an existential trilogy. Follow this show on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook at Spotless Minute. This has been a production of Lemming Drops Studio. You can find links to more at lemmingdrops.com or join the Facebook group Lemming Drops Studio Tour. Also, you can support all my shows at patreon.com/lemmingdrops. Until next time.
This is it, Joel. It's gonna be gone soon.
Okay, I'm sorry. I know.
What do we do?
Look, we're going off. Enjoy it.
Can you hear me? I don't want this anymore. I want to call it off.